hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.
Welcome again to Street Talk. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki, and on Street Talk, what we do, we deal with the things that's happening here in Michigan, the U.S., and abroad. We deal with political, social, and economics. Now, joining me tonight,
Charles Thomas.
And now we've got a lot to cover tonight, so let's get on with it. We're gonna be focusing on our black women because for all these years they have not got the due that they
Right,
do.
justly due. Yeah. The black woman is such a strong woman, and she's always been a strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you go back into history, as far as you can go, Queen Nefertiti,
Mm-hmm.
women of that in that stature, and beyond that, I'm sure. But they're the only one that can raise a black man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And teach a black man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's something very special about the black woman because of what she's been through, her endurance.
Mm-hmm.
In the absence of the black man.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's carried the ball. I look at Sojourner Truth.
Yep.
Is that the one they call Moses? And
Yeah.
and the other one, what's the other one, sister name that brought the slaves up? They were doing a man's job.
Yeah.
Because the man was absent from his position as a man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because of the fear that he had to endure.
Mm-hmm.
He cowed down, but the woman never left her post.
No.
She's a beautiful lady too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, she said if she could have freed 1,000 or more slaves if only they had known they were slaves.
Yeah. Yeah. The black man didn't know he was a slave, man.
He just knew
He knew he's in trouble. He knew he was in trouble.
I mean, if they only knew they were slaves, she could have freed.
Yeah. Well, she can come back and get some more because we still don't know we slaves.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that.
Wait a second. They didn't know they were slaves. They're so conditioned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about the man today, the black man today? Isn't he at least mentally in slavery and doesn't know it?
Yep.
Yeah. But we encourage it today. I look at sports when them guys be selling themselves for these different, they call them organizations, football teams, but it's just another thing, a form of plantation. You go to work at this plantation, if that plantation don't like you, they can say it to this plantation. So it's something that we send our men into, knowing that they got to work for the master. So
except for this time, they get some big bucks.
Yeah, they get some big bucks.
But look how they throw their bodies on the line.
Right.
Doing all these years and everything, the black woman still not getting her due.
Her just due, yeah. And she won't until the black man take the responsibility of respecting her and supporting her and working with her. Give her economics, give her family, support her in her education and in her endeavors. If you love the black woman, she know how to love you back.
Yeah.
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 And you think that you can't find another woman
No.
that's got your back
Right.
like your own woman.
Right.
Yeah.
When we think about it and read about it, people like Ida B. Wells and people of her generation, she was born in Holly Springs, Mississippi, grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, but when she was 6 years old, her family moved her to Memphis, Tennessee. And the same year they moved her to Memphis, Tennessee, one of the biggest, not a riot, but just killing of black people happened.
Massacres.
Yeah, massacre. Yeah, that's what it was, massacre.
Yeah.
And she grew up, and from the time that she became a lady until she passed away, she was out speaking up for the black man, because back then they was hanging them and lynching them and all these things, and she was one of the main people who was saying that's wrong.
Injustice.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Risking her life.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And they've always been there. Even back in the 60s, the black woman was right there with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They were wearing the afros bigger than yours.
Yeah. Hey.
And now all of them wearing wigs today.
Yeah.
You know, and there's been a paradigm shift, but the black woman is still getting the education, still getting the professional jobs, still providing for a family, even though the man is not there. But she's raising them, she's teaching them things that a man should be teaching them, and they're coming out great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she will never give up. She's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
There was a song. We have all the young men gone.
Yep.
Now let's swing it. We have all the black men gone. You look around, you could easily tell where they've gone. Jails and prisons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Filled with black men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And jumped over to homosexuality.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, the black population of homosexuals is increasing.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much increasing, but they're more open with it now.
Yeah.
Because there was a time it was such a shame.
Yeah.
But now nobody's ashamed of it anymore.
No.
It's alternate lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alternate to what? I don't know, because that what they're calling alternate lifestyle, there was nowhere you could find that was given to men.
No. No. It's not allowed in the animal world.
Right. Right. And one of the things is that we, and hey, for me, everybody, long as you not hurting anybody, downgrading or whatever, do what you want to do, long as it's legal and what other word I want to say? I'll just say legally, but for
be careful, Ahmad, because homosexuality is legal. Same-sex marriage is illegal.
But
even though we know
it's not.
that deep down it's wrong.
Yeah.
But the law says it's okay.
Right.
So we got to be careful sometimes when we say it's legal. Like now there's a big issue about the marijuana, where in some places, some states, it's okay. But now the feds, DJ is saying, well, look, we're going to still prosecute you if we catch you. So.
Well,
but
go ahead.
But that's man's interference. As long as if people believe in the Bible, the Bible condemns it.
Okay.
Okay, but if you think that the Supreme Court can override what God put in place, then you the fool.
Not you.
So You can let man sway you into sin if you want to, but I'm standing my ground. It ain't right.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're very right. It's wrong. God says it's wrong,
yeah,
and nothing can
Change that.
Man could say what he wants.
right, yeah.
But the fact is, it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Period.
Yeah.
I know some people may not like to hear us say that. We don't hate you. Let me just tell them that. We don't hate you because you're that.
Right,
But we know what you're doing is wrong.
right,
Period.
right. And don't try to influence my children or anybody else around me.
That's right.
Yeah. Like TV's doing it. TV trying to make you accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things is when we you know, we in a new year and we look back on Black America, you know, what are some of the things that we did get and we didn't get? Let's say up until 218.
That we did get and that we didn't get.
Yeah.
I can tell you one thing we got. We got Trump,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got Trump.
which
Yeah.
is not good for us.
Yeah, yeah. But we got the truth about how they feel about us
Uh-huh.
through Trump. And we also got a good picture of the things that the previous president, Obama, represented. And from there, you can make a comparison.
Right.
But in the black community, we still didn't take advantage of it.
Right.
There's some people that still don't accept Obama's 2 terms in office.
Right.
Like what he did, what he put in place. So we as a people are still lagging behind. And until we take responsibility for our own future, we will always be lagging behind. And like we were talking about earlier, respecting the black woman, the black family, and put something in place for our future generation. The worst thing that's killing the black family or the black community is the black churches.
Okay.
And I say that because the black churches are teaching the black community the concept of a white man's God.
Okay.
And they don't understand the struggle and the condition that the black man is in. If they do, they don't want you out of that condition. And the black preacher is helping to keep the Jim Crowism alive by telling you that there's a man that died for you that's better than you, and there's nothing that you can do to overshadow what this man has done for you. And then they put that image out there of their grandfather. And you know that that's not. And the Bible says no graven images. But if you fall under that stupidity of a graven image and worship the image of another man and discredit yourself and not take responsibility for yourself, then the condition that you're in falls upon you. It's your responsibility to come out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we see now where the ministers, and you know, I'm generalizing because not all of them, but I'm just going to generalize a little bit. A lot of them know better. You know, they know better, and you know, I've said this you know, probably 100 times since we've been on the show, but I remember I was 9 or 10 years old, and I was in this church, and this minister was, you know, he was sweating and going on, and man, he was, you know, and right behind him was a big picture of a white God back there.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, 9 or 10 years old, I couldn't, you know, but deep.
I guess it was hard to relate to this white God who's supposed to be so good for us, and here's how the white man here is treating us.
Yeah.
So you give us a picture of yourself, whites, Caucasian, and say this is your God, this is who you must believe.
Yeah.
In other words, we are your God.
Yeah.
Right.
And you follow us.
Yeah.
I guess that is what was going through your head, even though you couldn't express
Yeah.
it.
Right, right.
And that's a psychology that was meant to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes they may not even realize what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, okay, we all ask this guy to give us a picture, give us something that represents
Mhm.
that. He came up with this blue eye, blah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily who you are. As a matter of fact, he looks more like me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. I mean, how
Yeah.
how can you live?
Scripture wise.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How can you live and be where you're supposed to be and have long, straight hair and all of this, man,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and be white as he was, and
Yeah.
and where he was?
Right, right.
It-
And how is your wife going to respect you when you working 40, 50 hours a week, and then on Sunday morning you go down there, and then they tell you that this, no matter how many hours you do,
Yeah.
this man,
yeah,
you can't beat him.
Yeah.
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 He died. He gave his blood.
yeah,
Well, I guess we're not supposed to be beating him better than him, because if God is top, we believe in God, God is our creator,
Yeah.
we can't be better than our creator.
Right.
No way.
Right.
But I guess where you're coming from is the idea that they're portraying
The
Jesus
image.
in this image, which realistically could not be true
Right.
because of where he was from, the area he came, the lineage he came through as far as man.
Yeah.
It could not have been this picture they give us.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jesus also said, you worship me in spirit and in truth. So if you're up there lying behind the pulpit, you can't be telling the truth. The truth ain't in you. Because you telling me, you selling me a lie.
And if the truth not in you,
Yeah.
I would say you are lying.
Like, yeah. Yeah. And,
I mean, there are lots of things we can look at and question. Even in the Bible, you could take the Bible and question lots of things there.
right.
Now, because I'm questioning, it doesn't mean it's not true.
right,
Mhm.
You know,
right.
I could question you, Charles.
Mhm.
Man, you don't need to be shaving your head. You don't need to be wearing glasses
Yeah.
and all these kind of things. But that doesn't make it that nature made you bald
Yeah.
because of different reasons. You're not seeing well. You have to use glasses. You know, I could hardly read anything without glasses on my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to come and realize, especially when we're talking about God,
Yeah.
we cannot truly depict God in terms of human
Right. Right.
likeness.
Yeah.
Right. And see, that's the thing that a lot of our people running around here, millions of them running around here, and they got the whole wrong
Concept.
understand-
Whole concept
yeah.
is misinformed. And I was telling Ahmad earlier that in Genesis, God promised Adam that if you live according to this agreement, you can stay in paradise. Anything outside of that, I gotta get you out of the garden. And he promised nothing under religion. He didn't say, okay, now if you go practice religion, I got you back out there in religion. He didn't do that. He said, under this agreement with you, me, Adam, and I'll make your enemy your footstool, but you got to stay into this spirituality that I presented to you. If you drop that, you got to go. You got to get out of the garden.
You see, we say, God, we don't go off. But there's a standard. Now, they have signs on the street, one way.
Mhm.
If you go shutting up the opposite direction, police ticket you.
Yeah.
All right? Why? You broke the law.
Yeah.
So the law is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people will tell you, well, the law is done away with. But no, God's law didn't change.
Changed.
And
No.
it didn't move.
No.
It's there. That's our guide.
It's written in blood.
Our landmark.
Right.
And to the extent that we follow and obey God,
Right.
we are saved.
See, obedience. Yeah.
Saved. Obedience.
Mm-hmm.
And God promised, if you're willing and obedient, you will eat the fat, the good of the
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
We can only inherit these things if we do the right thing.
According to the
Because
agreement.
if we don't do the right thing, that's called sin. And what the penalty, the payment for sin, the wages of sin is
Death.
So if I'm dead, I can't benefit. I can't take part in this.
Yeah.
So the only way I could take part in the goodness of God, eventually, the great beyond, eternity, is by through obedience to the Word of God.
Right.
So,
But that. But,
anybody who gonna try to tell you, well, you don't have to do this and you don't have to do that, watch out. Because I remember this minister telling me, oh, well, we're not on the law, we are on the grace. And they think grace came in only when Jesus went on the cross. Grace is from the beginning.
yeah.
Because when Adam sinned and was pushed out of the garden, it was grace, because Adam should have died immediately. But the grace of God stepped in and said, okay, I don't want to see a sinner die. I'm going to come in. I'm going to help him out. We're going to show him the way.
Right.
God even made the provision, and that's where we have the
Right.
sacrificial.
Yeah. I'll send you messengers and prophets. Yeah.
All that he sent his prophets and all of these things coming down through today.
Yeah.
They're still valid.
Yeah.
Jesus came, and all the sacrificial system we saw in the temple back there was pointing to Jesus.
Mhm.
And no wonder when Jesus did come, the Jews who were looking for the Messiah couldn't even recognize him when he came, because they were so caught up in their own little
Yeah.
tradition.
Tradition.
And we
Yeah.
have a lot of that going on today. As a matter of fact, there's one church that says tradition supersedes the Bible, the
Right.
Word of God.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
gives you an idea. And
That's what we're under. We're under tradition.
Mm-hmm.
That's more important, because that's what he was fighting about. That's who killed him. You know, was the people, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Yeah. But I look at black people as being dead spiritually today.
Yeah.
Because of being misinformed
Yeah.
oh, yes.
and full of fear.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know, Charles, earlier you talk about the churches, the black churches, and what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
A big factor there, whether they like to hear it or not, comes down to economics.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to say something to chase you out of my church when you're bringing in big money.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And the poor guy who has nothing but maybe $1 to bring,
Mm-hmm.
you're willing to throw him out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that
And-
makes you
Right.
question.
Right.
You know, that's one of the things that I one of the things I see, because once in a while I'll go to
Go ahead and say it. Go
go
ahead
to
and say it.
church, go to church, go to church with my sisters, but I see a major difference, say, today than 35, 40 some years ago, because y'all know, that back during those years, the church was where the blacks go
Right.
to do it
And work things out.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they did.
Come up with a plan.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
you know.
They didn't even tell you when Moses was coming.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's the only place they could go, and
This
remember.
was their social gathering.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had,
As well as they were.
and like you said, they had economics. They had businesses. Little
Right.
party stores
Yep.
and things of that
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah,
Fixing cars and wagons and
yeah, all
blacksmith.
them
yeah.
things, and the lawyer lived next door to the guy who digged the ditches. I mean, that's the way it was then, and we somehow, when we got the thing that we could integrate and all them different things, and the schools and all these, and it's like.
Yeah, but that's when they broke us up, because we had thriving communities like was it Greenwood,
Yeah,
Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood.
right.
We had
yeah,
black
yeah,
cities.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So if I wanted to destroy that, I would do the integration thing.
That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then when they did the integration thing, everybody started going to the white man because
Oh, yeah.
you couldn't beat his prices.
Right.
And the Jewish people was running all the stores,
Yep.
and so they would set up
Yeah.
prices. Then you run up a tab,
Yeah.
and then put stuff in the layaway.
Yep.
So it was just it was a convenience thing. But their scheme was to take you totally and make you dependent
That's it.
upon them
Yeah.
economically.
Yeah. And I never forget, man, Malcolm. But he pointed out that during this time, and he Malcolm didn't live. He only lived until 1965, so it's been a lot of years since '65. But he said this in '63 that the thing about us is that we seem to be afraid to go on our own.
Yeah.
We have to have some other person, some other nationality.
It's
Yeah.
easier to work for somebody else, get a paycheck, than to venture out and set up your own
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what he's talking about.
Right, but when you do that, when you let somebody else do what you're supposed to be doing economically, then you get the crumbs.
Right, that's it.
But if you do it and create your own economics, then you can dictate what you want into your environment and what you don't want into
Yep.
your environment.
That's because of the fear. We don't want to, we're too afraid to venture out.
Right.
Right.
And then we don't support our own enough.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And so you got to pay the price of what somebody else set up for you. Like I always ask myself, what's the difference between the First Baptist and the Second Baptist? First Baptist got big thriving cities and high rises, and you look at the Second Baptist in their community, they ain't got nothing.
Right.
Because they giving all their seed money into the First
Right,
Baptist.
right.
If they would take that 10% and put it in the Second Baptist and invest and build businesses, they would have the same thing that First Baptist got.
Yeah. I mean, it's when we look at every city or whatever it is, might not even be a city, it could be any little village in this country, man. We've got these problems, man. With got these, I hate to say it, but ghettos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's big enough, it's got a ghetto.
It's got to get them.
How many minutes we got, Patrick?
Just about out.
Okay, but we've got to give us the last word.
Last word is to believe in yourself, respect the black woman, support the black woman, and life will be better for the black man.
Okay, Patrick, what you saying?
Preacher man, and it's in a book now. What make you strong, black woman? Woman, what make you strong? That woman has a faith in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's her anchor. And because of that, she is able to survive all the many things she has to go through alone.
Yeah.
All right, my name is Ahmad Shakaraka, and we'll catch you down the next block. Peace.
Peace.
Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, "You are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.